up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. Now that I think I have finally figured out how to intro this video after the 25th take, welcome back to the episode. Welcome back to the vlog. I hope you didn't miss me too much. Posted a video yesterday. For those of you guys who watched that video, I hope you enjoyed it. For those of you guys who didn't watch that video, go watch that video before you start this video. What are you thinking? Also, hit the subscribe button in whatever corner that's in and the notification bell. That way you know every time we upload one of these videos, because we are here to put out entertainment and a little bit of knowledge for whatever it's worth for those of you guys who watch. The following is small, but we appreciate every single one of you guys. So with that being said, welcome back to another episode. A little more serious note today than yesterday's video was. Instead of just watching a bunch of snakes eat well, we're going to be dealing with some of the ones that struggle a little bit more. We're going to be assist feeding and force feeding some snakes and explaining the differences in between the two. And we're going to show you a couple safe and effective methods to doing so, a few tools that can be used in the process, a few ways that can aid in just both helping yourself and the snake be a little bit more comfortable. And yeah, hopefully, ultimately, this is just a nice little piece of YouTube content that isn't floating around out there, or maybe I'll be able to put it into an easier understanding the way that it kind of makes sense to me, and you guys can appreciate that. So, like I said, this is going to be an assist and force feeding video. I don't want to ramble too much, but I do want you guys to kind of have a little disclaimer before we really get going. This is something that can, if done wrong, if not taught properly, if not walked through by someone who's done this before, maybe your first time around, mistakes can be made, and this is something that can ultimately end fatally for your animal. So I want that to be put on the table first and foremost. This is a little bit of a dangerous process for your animal. It is a last resort method. Usually you only want to force anything if the animal absolutely is not eating and it has not been eating for quite some time. As far as assist feeding goes, I'm going to, again, explain the difference between the two, but assist feeding can be a little bit more of a method seen when you're just raising up snakes, or you have stuff that you're trying to acclimate to a new food source or something. But yeah, disclaimer, guys, please proceed with caution in this video. Please do not get a ball python that has not eaten for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and decide that it's time to assist feed that animal. You've got to know when it's time. Please talk to people around you. Feel free to message me. If you're following me on Instagram, send me a DM on there. If you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is arboreal.obscurities. Same thing as the YouTube channel with a dot in between the two words. Please follow me on there. Reach out. I'm happy to talk to anybody. For those of you who have reached out, you will know that that's true. I'd rather take a few moments to either tell you that I don't have the right answer for you, or try to lead you in the right direction to the proper results, if I can. So anyways, guys, let's jump into today's video. Proceed with caution with this whole episode. If anything, if you're not ready, use it as like a little note that you can reference back on. And like I said, if you have a friend nearby you who has done this before, have them walk you through it the first time, just because it can be very easy with feel, but you've got to get the feel. So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling for, I guess, a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab the first animal. We're going to move from assist feeding. We'll start there, and then we'll force feed second, and we'll go in between. I have everything from, I don't know if I said this already, but neonates through juveniles up to adults. So hopefully I can show you guys everything. Thanks for tuning into another video. I'll see you in a second. Okay, you guys, so we're going to kind of work our way up the list from neonate to adult through assist feeding, and then same thing through force feeding, if you will. Thankfully, I believe there are only 2 snakes that need force feeding, and then the rest will be assist feeding. So we're going to start the video off with a snake that, if you guys, again, are on the Instagram, you for sure should have seen eating pretty well on his or her own. I love this snake tremendously, because this is a snake that, although 2020 was a little bit crazy, we were able to produce So this is a little boy Ganagriceps. And this is the first snake that we are going to be assist feeding in this video. So let me see if I can't pull you guys in a little bit closer. If you guys have been on the channel since this little one was, since it hatched out, since it was born, you will notice that it's put on quite a bit of size already. It's ready to decide it doesn't want to be held, which is a good sign. So let's talk about assist feeding. The first thing I want to get into with the assist feeding, now I'll talk more while we have one that's kind of sitting and eating and while I let this one eat. But the assist feeding is just like it sounds. We're going to basically be assisting food in front of this animal's face, letting it take it on its own. So we're going to start that with a very, very gentle, now with animals this small, very gentle head grab on the animal just so we can control the body. So up here, I actually like that he's got a lot of me wrapped up, but we're going to move him anyways. So the best way to head grab small animals like this, a lot of animals honestly, is going to be kind of just to let them run their head through your hands. Now he's going to want to keep moving forward. I'm going to set my hand just under his head, kind of move it forward with him so that it keeps an edge. Let's see if I can't move forward so that you're right there. Then as we're right on the edge, we're just going to gently close your fingers. And that's all it is. He's going to want to squirm out. You can apply just a little pressure, but make sure that your grip is good. You can adjust your fingers. So now I've changed my grip just a little bit. He still wants to wiggle out of it. So now that I've got a good grip on him, you're gonna want to get most of his body in your fingers. Now, I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I just have a good little squeeze on where he's trying to get out of, and what I'll do is just kind of move my fingers and adjust back. I'm gonna be a little bit quicker with this, just so he doesn't stress too much. But now what we're gonna do is just like I said. If I can get this to focus, we're going to ever so gently, of course, there we go. Just assist this pinky into his mouth. The trick here is to wait very calmly until he starts to take it on his own. And now from this point, you're typically good to let them finish the meal on their own. And then that's the name of the game. Done deal on the assist feed on a little snake. And we're not quite done. I'm going to show you guys also. I wanted to talk about this before. The size of food that these animals can eat is so much larger than people will lead you to believe. Now, yes, they're a tiny snake. Yes, they're very delicate. Yes, they can be high strung. They are a colubrid. They do have venom designed to break down their prey. They do have very fast metabolisms and quick digestive tracts. So what that means, especially since their head is as large as it is, means that they are designed and prepared to eat more or larger meals and be able to break them down and continue moving on with their lives quicker than things like a boa or a python. So a lot of you guys who are out there feeding your young boy got things like tails. It does work. Personally, from my experience, all it does, and I say this just because doing this with dozens in reptile shops, it keeps them alive. It does not necessarily stimulate that growth that you need for them to be able to get larger to eat that meal, which is why a lot of you guys have your snakes on mice tails for a long period of time. But with the pinky mice, I mean, they really, you guys can see, they don't have a problem eating a pinky mouse whatsoever. And what you're going to see after this is, and I started with a smaller one just to get things going. But now what you're going to see is, since he's taken the first one, and hopefully doesn't shy away too bad from this, but we're going to do what's known as training or trailing. And I'm going to gently keep him on track. Sorry, my hands are a little bit shaky. I'm kind of leaning forward, trying to be in the shot for you guys. And keep the snake in the shot, and keep it focused, and hold the pinky. There we go. So, now that we've got that kind of hooked into his mouth, as he kind of just carried over working the first one down, I'm going to go ahead and move another one down. So as you guys can see, these snakes, they're not afraid of taking on the meal, and believe it or not, you're not going to see too much bulge in this animal, and by tomorrow evening you probably won't see any bulge at all. It is crazy that they actually do break it down that fast. So I can't imagine things like the tails doing too much for your guys' boyga at home. So it's the only reason that I say this. I wish you guys as much success as I hope for myself, especially working with these animals. So I would like to see every single one of them be able to do as well as possible, and you guys be as happy as you can with them. Alright, so here's little Uno taking down another pinky. I'm gonna see if I can't posture him up right here and speed this clip up a little for you. Okay, you guys, and that's that. Easy as that. Seriously, that's assist feeding though, so we haven't moved into the force feeding yet, but sometimes, you guys, it can be as simple as that. So that is the best method that you want to try before forcing anything down. Sometimes wiggling the prey item once it's in their mouth a little bit can stimulate that kind of chew and bite to kill. More often than not though, they're either going to take it or they're not. A lot of the time, once you put it in their mouth, they are going to react like they want to spit it up. So warning on that. Usually they're not going to actually spit it up though. If you kind of just balance it right there in their mouth as they try to, whatever happens, as soon as they get the taste of it, the scent of it, if they're going to eat it, they'll often then close their mouth around it like you saw with Uno and kind of just continue eating. So as you can see, perfectly fed little snake, no stress at all, just hanging out, ready to go back in his home. So there's the first animal. I don't want to sit and show you guys all these for too long, even though I could with this guy, especially because he's so dang cute. But I'm going to go ahead and put him away, and we're going to move into the next snake. So one more look at Uno. Cute little guy. And as you can see, I mean, that is not a, it's not a crazy bulge. It looks like quite a bit of food. Be gone in no time, I promise you guys. Follow the Instagram, like I said, arboreal.obscurities. Go follow the Instagram. I'll post a picture of Uno tomorrow. For those of you guys who watched today's video, I will post a picture tomorrow to show you how much of that food has been digested. But anyways, yeah, let me put him away, and then let me go get something just a little bit bigger. Okay guys, I had to change the angle on this one just a little bit because she's probably going to want to eat right here on the table and not right in my hands. We will see though. This girl right here is another Boiga nigerceps, or black-headed cat snake. This is a female. This girl's name is Valkyrie. She's a bit older than the one that you just saw. She's probably close to 2 years old. She is a wild-caught imported animal picked up through Scales and Tails of Ohio. So thanks to those guys. And she's actually usually a really good eater, but she's a little on edge right now, as you can see, which is fine. Hopefully that means that she's willing to open up that mouth and try to eat something. Again, I'm going to show you head grabbing the way that I like to. Especially with Boiga, it's kind of just let them move. And then kind of just, once they're in a spot that feels comfortable, go ahead and give them a little grab. Now I'm going to actually switch hands with her. I want her in this hand. Now, just like I showed you before, what we're going to do here, take this rodent. Get a good focus on this for you guys. Tongue is flicking a million miles an hour. We're going to grab this rodent. She's wanting to back up on me. It's because she's got a table. So sometimes having them on a flat surface can work against you, just because they're going to want to back up. So having a good grab on them where they can't do so. Now she usually takes a little bit easier. I don't know why she's not trying to bite right now. But what we'll do, just take the nose of the rodent, give just enough of a push. Like I said again, I'm just going to kind of wait, let her close her mouth around it. I'm going to set this down, move the camera downwards so you guys can see the table, because I want you to see she's backing up on my arm, and there's a very good chance she could let go of this as soon as I let go of her. Because she hasn't started. There we go. There's the chews that I want. So my grip is actually really loose. And I think she actually thinks she has my finger in her mouth because she's just biting that one side. It's definitely a kill bite. But now I'll loosen up just a little bit since she's been chewing. Move that finger off her. Give her space. And we'll see what she does. Now, I'd love to move the camera and show you guys stuff, but this is the one time where you want to just really play or cater to the snake's speed. Let them get going. Let them kind of get their brain working and figure out what's going on. And then you should be good from there. So now, honestly, I should be able to adjust the camera. Maybe even give you guys a cool little video of this. Okay, so since she is kind of sliding off the table and attached to my wrist, I'm gonna actually just go put her back in her enclosure. She's gonna finish this mouse. She finishes them every single week, so I'm not worried about it. But I would like to get the ball rolling on feeding some more snakes. So I'm gonna also kind of just show you, because so many people out there think these snakes are so high-strung and so stressed out. They're really not. They can be a little bit shy. Stressed out, sure, when they're freshly imported and they're not acclimated yet, which like 90% of the time they are. But no, they're great animals, and I'm going to show you even now while the snake is still eating that it's actually really hard to disturb them once they've got their food. No, she's not trying to spit it out or anything. And the reason I'm kind of showing you guys this is mainly just because of that, I don't know if you guys saw that Barczyk video Brian Barczyk just posted, and not to hate on him, 'cause he does a ton of great stuff, but he said a few silly things. He was assist feeding some boiga and made a few comments like the reason that they weren't eating for him was because he wasn't placing them on a branch. Silly little stuff, in my opinion, like that. As you can see, I mean, sure, right now my hand is being a branch, but it did not start that way. The assist feed started a little rough. You know, she was not willing to take right off the bat, but she came around. Here we are. Sure, she's on a branch now, which is my hand, but I mean, I just picked her up off of the flat table while she's eating, and yeah, good snakes. Very, very good snakes. Satisfies me. It gives you guys a kind of a cool clip to see too. Let's see if we can't get a good view of that that fang working its magic in there. It'll be right here if we get to see it, right where that arm is. Got camera shy, but you can kind of see it. Look right where that elbow is. Oh no, focus. Focus. Oh no. All right, well, there's my sign. I'm gonna go put her away, let her finish her food. That way I can come back and get into this next one. Ooh, she's leaving. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, guys, So last one for the assisting, and this one hopefully should go a little bit quicker. I'll show you this guy before we get right into the feeding. This is gonna be about the size on an adult Nigriceps. This here is Draugr. He is gonna be the male that I'm showing you guys today. Shut this door. And he's gonna be eating something a little bit different. We're gonna be feeding this guy a chick instead of a mouse, although he's ready to eat my hand now. Please don't, not yet. Okay, so again, back to the head grab. He's got most of himself locked up here on me. I'm gonna kind of let him fold himself over. Get him to work through my hand this way. I don't recommend handling them this way at home if you guys haven't worked with the species before. I know each of these individuals really well, even the newer ones, and we're just gonna do this like this. He keeps sitting in this hand, so I'm gonna hold him here. I'm gonna pull this chick out of this cup with my offhand, which normally would not do, but while I've got him, let's see. This guy writhes a little bit more than the other two on me, but also this the blood that you see is from the chick, not the snake. Alright, so I gotta get him in a spot where he's not backing up on me quite as much. A little bit quicker about getting this chick in his mouth. Sometimes working from the sides can give you guys a little bit of help. There we go. Come on, buddy. The hardest part of this is just getting them to open up and take the food. You don't want to force it because you can hurt the animal. What I'm going to do is just play with the lip until he decides that he's willing to open up on me. He might take a couple tries. Every now and then he'll really make me work for the assist. Real patient with it. There we go. There's a bite. There's another bite. I felt him. There we go. And we're off. My hands are nasty. But we're good. Now I'm going to let him just get chewing on it a little bit. That way I know that he's taking it. Every now and then he'll trick me. But as soon as I know that he's taking it, I'm going to just go ahead and put him away. That way we can move into force feeding this stuff. But again, as you guys can see, I mean, aside from a little bit of extra encouragement to get him to open his mouth, there's nothing forceful about assist feeding. It is just like it sounds. It is minor assistance. And definitely what I'd try a couple times even before. A couple times even before he's got himself all wrapped up. Trying to force anything. And even still there, before you force anything, make sure, there we go, there's some chews. Make sure that you guys talk to someone that can kind of decide or help you decide if it's necessary yet, or if there's other things that you can try, like scenting braining, feeding limbs. There are different methods. This is, like I said, this is a last resort. Assist feeding's not so bad, but the force feeding, I mean, it's definitely more stressful. Just want you guys to get a couple good chews from. Like I said, sometimes I'll jiggle it a little. Give a little life to it. Almost like it's trying to get out. He just wants to be camera shy for you guys today. Well, we should have no problem eating this chick. So, we'll wait for just a second. There we go. There's the chews I wanted. Once we get a few more, we'll put them away. Come on, keep working on it. I'm sure so many people are like, leave him alone. Just let him eat it. Trust me, guys, I know these snakes. Plus, so many snakes are, if they tolerate you, they tolerate you. And if they're not trying to bite you or freaking out when you interact with them, typically they're not going to be super stressed out or freak out too much when you do things like feed them by hand, or hold them while they're eating. There's so many snakes that'll come out and eat basically right on my lap if I let them. Oh, he's gonna spit it up. Don't spit it up. Let's see if he just, oh no, he just wants to go flat, just so you guys can see. Just readjusting. So all he's trying to do is just readjust. So I clipped the heads off of all the chicks. I don't know, a little less knob to get past, less beak to deal with. I clipped the heads off because they're great monitor treats anyways, but sometimes that neck bone or that vertebrae is a little bit tough. It'll poke to the side of the mouth or something if you do clip the heads off them. I'd rather it be that little piece of neck than the beak, although the beak's usually relatively soft. I don't like to risk it. I don't cut the feet off or anything, but I do cut the beak off. And sometimes, like that's what he was just doing, they will, they'll need to kind of maneuver around the neck a little bit. But we're good. Neck is in. And a happy jogger. Man, wouldn't it be wonderful if that was focused? Alright guys, so just like the last one, I have no doubt he's going to finish this meal. So let me set him away and let's move into the stressful part of this video. That way I can go to bed. I'm tired. I'll be right back. Okay, second portion of this stuff. Excuse me. Feeding. Maybe. Because it's in shed. Snake you guys haven't got to see a whole lot of, actually. This is my little Boiga guanziensis, or the Guanzi cat snake. Still kind of acclimating to me. You guys can kind of see that he's in shed. There we go. Let me take this off autofocus because it sucks. And here we go. Kind of hard to see. It really sucks that it's in shed because it's such a cool looking little boiga. But unfortunately, this one does still. Sometimes it'll take assisted. Sometimes it needs to be forced. More often than not, it's forced. I'm gonna have to make the call dependent on how this little guy is reacting as to if I'm gonna go ahead and do a force feed even while he's in shed. I know that's a little bit controversial, but I'd like to still give them a small meal in shed if they're neonates. Just, I don't know. I like to make sure they're always eating on schedule. Now this one is a lot feistier, which is fine. I mean, it's not like he's going to do anything. Just try to be a little bit more careful with him. It's actually pretty much doubled in size since we got it, although it's still teeny tiny. But a couple things I want to talk about before we start the force feeding portion of this. Couple tools of the trade that are useful. Not on something this small, but little things like small pair of tongs. If you have smaller, like a pair of tweezers, preferably any tweezers that have kind of the more stupid autofocus, kind of the more rounded edge to them. Of course, you can't see that. Less of a sharp edge, but you're going to try to keep that pointed edge kind of in the food item anyways. Be very careful with stuff like this, or the other thing that I'll use is a probe, a snake probe. I'm not going to, you can use either end. I use the largest one. I'm not going to use the ball end. I'll usually use this end, nice and flat, no sharp edge to it, just to help push or assist things past the mouth, which you're going to see. I just want to show you those two tools. Then I'm going to show you one other way that you can kind of head grab your snake and kind of, I guess, I'm not going to use it, but I'll show you a method that you can use for assist feeding too, especially for those of you guys who have like little hots at home, little baby rattlesnakes, little squamagera, little vipers, baby cobras, stuff that needs assist feeding that you do not want to get your fingies close to. So those are the tools that we'll be using, not be using. Those are the tools on the table. Pinkies are right here. I'm going to show you, I'm not going to actually do it, but I'm going to show you one way that you can safely and comfortably pin and assist feed small snakes. So if you have this animal here, you see the paper towel roll. It's long, just like the snake, it's long. If you have your paper towel roll and you take your snake and you let him kind of stretch out on the table, you take the paper towel roll, squishy end because there's a lot of give to these, lay the snake out and come down just gently over top, press just behind the back of the head, which I'm going to show you with a mangrove. only you can lay the paper towel down flat over the back of the animal, not applying much pressure, but just to kind of hold him still when it's smaller, squirmier snakes that are giving you trouble. Anyways, it's time to try to force feed this thing. We're going to see kind of how he's reacting. Right now he's being really calm, actually. A little bit of a throat puff, which is really cool. Let's see. Man, I'd love to get this to stay off manual focus. Or stay on manual focus and off of this stupid autofocus. Alright. That'll work for a second. Alright, let's see how this goes. So I've got a lot of the body in my hands already. I'm going to kind of just control the neck, manipulate the body, get the head right where I want it. Here, I'm going to do that again, just closer so you guys can see. So the animal moving around definitely doesn't want to be head held. I kind of just keep control back here, get that head up close where I want it, keep control right here, get that body back in my hands how I want it. And I don't know if you can see that, but I've got him sitting right here in my hands. I'm just going to gently press over top. Move this body all into this hand. Get a little bit of a better grip. And see if we can't get lucky and get a little guanzi to eat for me without a force in shed. I go very slow, just enough. Oh. So funny, this animal loves to open up if it's trying to bite me. But not when the food's going in. Sorry if you guys can't see that well. I need to see a little bit better right now. Okay, so no easy take there. So what I'm gonna do, back where I want him, try again. If I get really, really lucky, this animal's just going to take these on its own. And I'm not going to have to force anything. And it'll be a very anticlimactic baby force feeding for you guys. But it'll be great for me. I've gotten a couple chomps. There's another. Those little bites does not mean that he's going to take it, though. Now I don't know if I want to. I kind of want to risk him dropping this to show you guys, but I also don't want to risk it. I'm going to see if I can't show you. How he'll drop this if I let go of it right now. If I let go of his head, that's it. Let's go immediately. So what that means is it means that we need to, unfortunately, I'm gonna pull this closer. I'm gonna need to be here. We're gonna need to force feed this little guy. Now he's not reacting too crazy, which means that I should. This is so stupid. I'm so sorry, guys, that this won't focus now. yeah, I'm gonna see if I can't kind of force one down. Try to show you guys that in the process. Apologies ahead of time if for whatever reason I try to get closer and everything blurs out. Maybe if I do this. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so again, we're going to get this to focus up here. Okay, now an important part of this is going to be keeping this neck as straight as we can. That way everything goes straight down. So bear with me, I'm going to try to keep the focus on the snake and not on me. And see if we can't get this going. So I'm going to be a little bit quicker about this. Oh, nice. I didn't realize we gummied this whole pinky. Let me grab a different one. That's nasty. I feel like having that all over my fingers. Okay. Okay, so there we go, into the mouth. Now that we're in the mouth, try to quickly grab my tweezers. Does not help that these pinkies are splitting open on me as I'm trying to feed them. Okay. Again, this is not a process that we want to rush. Take your time with this stuff. If it takes a few resets, it takes a few resets. If your phone's not focused, your phone's not focused. Okay. Now I think I don't want to waste these pinkies, so I'm going to take my probe, or I'm going to take my tweezers, whichever one's going to let me. There we go. Okay, so now what I'm doing is with this small pinky, I'm taking my tweezers, flat ends, pinching that point into the item. See if I can't move my finger. Giving it just enough push. Work it down that gullet while spilling a whole bunch of nastiness. It's pretty gross. Okay, now that we've got a mouthful of goop, and that is pinky parts, that is not snake. I take my probe, I push it down, just like this, just past the mouth. I want you guys to see that. Just past the mouth right here. I'll go ahead and shut that mouth over top. And then I'm going to very, very gently work that food down that belly. Now you guys can see food is in the neck. Now I'll work it down just a little bit, just far enough down to where he's not going to spit it right out. Okay, now while we're here, I don't want to stress him too much. He is going to keep trying to back up and fight me. But once we get one down, come on, come on. Then you can typically get the next one or two that you want to get down there down pretty easily. Again, normally it's not this messy. Both these pinkies were just way soft, and the tongs totally just smushed them. Or not the tongs, the tweezers. But so now this is just a nasty jelly pool. This is where this comes in very handy. You're gonna see. Sorry, I'm sitting a little bit further back than I'm sure you guys would prefer to. I just gotta, as much as I'd love this video to be super visual for you, at the same time, it's still, like I warned you guys in the beginning, still a bit of a delicate process. You want to take your time. You want to make sure you're doing this right. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now another one down. Now, like I said, they're going to want to fight it. Pinch that mouth shut real quick. Work that food down that belly. No, he does not love it for me now. Yes, he looks like a disgusting pile of nastiness. But trust me, he will appreciate this as he continues to grow. Now what I'm going to do as he stretches is I'm slowly, just the lightest amount of pressure underneath the food item, letting him slither through, while slowly working that food further down into the belly. Now personally, I do recommend working it a little bit further down. I like to make sure they actually stays in their tummy. They don't spit it all back up on you. You want to be very delicate with this too, especially with baby snakes, because their ribs are so small, so delicate, so fragile. Their vertebrae is very thin as well. But now you can see where that food is at. We are most of the way into the belly. I'm going to clean this face up. And voila. A happy, shedding, but also unhappy. A full shedding and probably quite unhappy baby guanziensis. But as you guys can see, even with a force feed like that, a bit of stress, but if you take your time, if you do it right, if you're gentle, be delicate, these animals are delicate, take your time, read the snake, treat them, I mean, think about it if it was you. Don't humanize them, but think about it. And yeah, you'll be good. Food is all the way in the belly now, ready to be digested, ready to come out of shed. Let me put this animal away. I got one more for you guys, and then I'll let you go. I hope you guys are kind of learning something so far. Be right back. Okay, here we are. Last one we've got to feed. This iconic looking little sucker right here that gives me so much fleck always. Something about these mangroves. It's actually being pretty good right now. So let's jump into force feeding this guy. I wanted to show you the paper towel trick with the head grab. It's really simple, guys. Okay, I'm just gonna explain it. So the head on your boiga is the side with that tongue coming out of it that is very keen on trying to bite things, because that's just what mangroves do. So with the paper towel roll, the easiest way to do this trick is if the snake is out and if it's on the ground and you can see the head and you have a paper towel roll, it is soft, it is squishy, it is a lot softer and squishier than something like your snake hook. And if you take that paper towel roll and you place it right here, just behind the head, right there, you can get a nice little squinch on them. Enough to apply pressure, keep them from moving, and get a nice, safe, delicate grab on them. Now that works with all kinds of snakes. Snakes that want to back up on themselves, stack up on themselves, you name it. So it's just a good method. Before this mangrove decides that it's going to chew on my finger, let me get a nice little grip on him. Get most of this body in my hands. Don't hold yourself, hold me. Come here, hold me instead. I need to be held. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Boom. Okay, straight neck shoot. That's where I want him. I'm gonna hold him like this. We're gonna get straight to work on this. Same thing as last time. We're gonna go ahead get that mouth to open up. There we go. Backward. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Some good chomps. Now this guy chomps to hurt. He does not chomp to eat. So now while he's chomping, I gotta work quick. I gotta take these tongs. And every time he gives me a chomp, I'm gonna try to push this thing a little bit further down. He does not work with me nearly as well as the other two. He likes to lock his teeth into the prey item, do stuff like that, and not let it move. The cool thing about it though is no, don't spit that out. Cool thing about it being, like, if he opens his mouth up enough, I'll be able to push that right in, which you should be able to see here in a second. Sick. My phone. There we go. So I'm just using the probe to put a little pressure on him. See if I can't get him to do another little chomp and chew for me like that. So now the only thing that makes him difficult, and it can be with other snakes, so thing to be wary of, is a lot of the times they'll fight you on the window of opportunity. So as soon as you kind of let go and give them room or take off the pressure, they'll try to take that opportunity to spit it up. So you gotta look for that same opportunity and push it down. So just like you saw with the Guanzi, got it past the throat, and move on to the next one. I'm not gonna work all these down one at a time because you've already seen what that looks like, and it's only going to take a lot more time for me. So there we go on number 2. Again, he's gonna lock his teeth. Gotta wait for that chew. He's trying to back up out of my hand too. Now, just like the last one, I'm just pushing this thing down just till it's past those teeth, and I can get it all the way into the belly. Okay, in the neck, close the head. One more to go. Normally this guy will eat 4 or so of these. We're gonna stick to 3 tonight. Okay. I want you to open up, but I want you to open up on this side. There we go. Okay, now I've got some chomps on this last one. Now I know I told you I clipped the beaks off a lot of these. These guys do eat birds in the wild, so their beaks don't stress me out quite as much. I mean, I say that all the time. I'm picky. It depends on the animal. But with these guys, I will feed them with the beak, but you will notice that they get the beak backwards. Try to at least. Alright, so he's going to loosen up a little bit. Now it looks like he's going to take this on his own. He's not going to take this on his own, I promise you guys. I know this snake. There we go. Now I'm not, just so you guys know, I want you to see this. I'm not shooting straight down right now. Being very wary of the teeth in there. Not for my sake, for his sake, but I'm basically going in through the side and pushing this way. We'll go to the other side and push in this way. And then once it's past the throat and you're confident, you can give a little bit of a centered push just into the neck. And I'm not pushing, guys. I'm like, if I can give you an example, I am taking the probe and I'm going like this. I'm just applying a little bit of pressure. Now that we've got those in, get it past the neck. See all three heads. Nice little meal for this guy. Now the important and tricky part. Gotta work all three of those heads down on him. He's a bit larger than the last snake, so he's gonna fight it a little bit more, and it's gonna make it a little bit tougher. But what I'm gonna try to do is kind of just encourage him. Slime off. To just work those down on his own. Which you can see he's doing. And that's pretty much it. We'll sit and wait for him to work those down. For sure hates me right now. But that should do it. Well, you guys, it's been it's been a long week for me. The last couple days for sure have been a little bit longer than I'd have liked. Today has been long. I'm super tired. I am so happy that all the snakes are fed, that these videos are done, and that I was true to my word with putting 2 out for you guys. Again, I'm sorry that I missed last week. Sometimes I get busy, bear with me. I'll try to put these out weekly, but sometimes I might not get around to it. I hope that today's episode was informative, educational for some of you guys who needed something to kind of walk you through this. I hope that I was able to walk you through it a little bit. I hope you picked up a few little tools. I really do enjoy making this content. I just love it so much more when you guys give me feedback. Let me know if you enjoy this stuff. If you have questions, reach out to me. Let me know if there's stuff that you didn't like, or if you just want to have a conversation about it. Let's have a conversation about it. If you disagree, that's cool. It's okay to disagree. I disagree with like everybody but myself. So thank you guys for watching another video. I look forward to putting another one of these out for you. Again, like I said, I hope you learned something in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed 2 this week and you don't hate me too much for not doing one last week. I love you. I wouldn't and couldn't do these without you. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell. That way you know every time we upload a video. Stay tuned for the next one. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, arboreal.obscurities. And I promise I'll see you guys on another video. Peace.
That feels good!